testing. Alright guys, getting soon. Time is coming soon, I mean. Gonna be with you guys once again. Just getting all these last bits of technical issues resolved, as always. Seems like things never change. Got a big show planned for you today. Alright, let's get ready to do this. Alright, here we go, everybody. Hey, everybody. Playing some vinyl here. Today's show is brought to you by vinyl. That's right, polyvinyl chloride. Got my Mr. Rogers sweater on. Getting ready to visit with you guys one more time. Anyway, let me lower that for a little bit and get to talking to you guys a little bit. Let's switch out to my main camera view here. Hey everybody, it's Abe Duque again, back with you one more Friday. We are 343 TV. I am Abe Duque. I am one of the instructors at 343 Labs. 343 Labs is a school that we started a couple of years ago, and well, we have two schools now, two physical schools, one in Berlin and one in New York City. And of course, we have plenty of presence on the internet. Actually, we have many classes going on the internet. We have classes starting all the time. I actually have a class starting tomorrow, Saturday, 12:15, Ableton 1 class. Still a chance to sign up and jump in on an Ableton course with me. And I have many classes continuing to start, but that's not only for me. We have a lot of other really talented instructors that have classes starting all the time. So come and visit us at our website at 343labs.com or 343labs.de and check out our schedule, and maybe you can take a class with us. But anyway, this is 343 TV, and we stream every day about all these topics that you guys are really interested in. Anything from recording music to mixing, mastering the music, composition, different DAWs. We teach it all. We're here every day, and we stream it all about it every day. We have classes or streams on Monday through Saturday. I think Sundays is like a toss-up. Sometimes we do some different things like competitions and stuff like that. So just to run down, Mondays we have Doltrick with our tips and tricks. Tuesdays we have Tetro Talks. He usually does a call-in show, or he has some interviews going on. On Wednesday we have Electronic Music Essentials with Louis Beck. And then Thursdays we have Theory Thursdays with Max Wild, our fearless leader. And Fridays, it's me, Abe Duque, with his production or my production, Playhouse. Saturdays, well, that's the big day. That's John Selway's Techno Saturdays. Really big show. Anyway, we have a giveaway this week. Just we always do the giveaway on Saturdays. This week is a Vocal Synth 2 from Isotope. Awesome. I don't have that yet, and I'm like totally hoping that I can get some Vocal Synth 2 one day in me. I love it. I really do. I've tried the demo once and it expired. Anyway, so here we are talking about vinyl today. Anyway, let's have a look at the chat. There's some people in the chat. Roller 8, JNX is here as well. JNNX says, I have lots of memories of dancing to it many times. I think we were having a little chat conversation earlier about a track I did in 2004, and he really likes it. And the Sun Can't Compare is another one that he likes, with the anthems for his life, I guess. Anyway, yeah, we're here again. This is 343 TV. My name is Abe Duque, and let's stop the music for a second. I want to get back into vinyl in a bit, but I'm just gonna stop the playback for now. And let's get into something that we do every week now, and that is the news. And let me just do a little lead in. We are 343 TV. My name is Abe Duque, and this is this week's news. I gotta do that again. I don't know why. Every time I set this up in my... Okay, I kind of messed that up. Let's do that one more time. I always set this up and then it doesn't work out right. But I got to do it. I always turn off the sound for some reason. I don't know how I end up turning on the sound, because I always do I have a checklist of things I should do before, but the sound's always off. But whatever. Let's do it again. Hi, my name is Abe Duque. This is Production Playhouse. We are 343 TV, and this is the news. Okay, now that was better. That was much better. Let's do the news. So let's see. We have just a few items today. Nothing so controversial. No Behringer news. That's always the controversial news for me when I get to talk about Behringer. But let's talk about some things that might be of interest to you. Starting with some Apple news, maybe. So let's see. The seriously upgraded iPad Mini, iPad Pro, 2021, may be announced in just a couple of weeks in April. And this is from Gear News. As iPads enjoy a surge in popularity during lockdowns around the world, rumor monger Mark Gurman of Bloomberg claims that Apple will be dishing out hearty upgrades as soon as next month. Aside from the predictable design tweaks and performance increases, Apple may bring back the iPad Mini with a large screen and add Thunderbolt connectivity, which might be very interesting, to the iPad Pro. So things seem to be moving forward, and this is in a pleasing direction. And just remember, they also have these new chips that they're introducing, and I guess they're going to be implementing some of that chip technology in their new iPads and iPad Mini and iPad Pro. So be on the lookout for that. Let's see. Next in the news, we have... Oh yeah, this is cool. I don't know how many of you have used Audacity before, but Audacity 3.0, free recording software, gets a yearly update. So this is, again, from Gear News. It's been 21 years, and Audacity remains the go-to when looking for free recording software. So if you guys don't know about this, check it out, because it's free and it's pretty cool. Downloaded in excess of 200 million times, the free audio editor and recorder is the launchpad for countless podcasters and producers getting into home recording. Although it remains under active development, updates are infrequent, but they are there. roughly one per year, I think. And this version, I guess, the last version we saw was 2.4.2. And now we have 3.0.0. So check it out. Audacity is for Windows, for Mac OS, and for Linux. And it's free. It's free, and it's pretty damn good. I think it's a great thing if you need something to record stuff on, and you don't have the money to pay for a fancier thing like Wavelab. I heard there's a new Wavelab coming out, but Steinberg wants money for that. You can go on and do Audacity. So let's see. Enigmatic Onion says, I use Audacity for all my samples. Yeah, cool stuff. Rashane is here. Rashane is here in the chat. Great. Enigmatic Onion and Rashane. Yeah, Miles Kane as well. So let's continue with the news. I'm really antsy about talking about vinyl. So let's see what we have next here. Oh yeah, Musikmesse is canceled this year, postponed until 2022. Musikmesse plans to return revitalized in 2022. This is from Gear News. Has fallen a bit flat in recent times from an electronic instrument point of view. It was once the European alternative to NAMM, the NAMM show that we have in Anaheim every year. I've never been there, but I heard it's quite a spectacle. Supported by all the usual software and hardware brands. It even gave birth to the idea of the super booth, and we're talking about Musikmesse. But Musikmesse seems to have attracted less and less big names, or had any to their to their convention, and I guess they're taking a break this year. I have a feeling that COVID has a little bit to do with that as well. But those of you, especially the ones in Germany or in Central Europe, that are used to going to Musikmesse, will be back, or they'll be back in 2022. Okay, let's see. One more item I think I have in the news. And let's go to... Oh, this is cool. So it's not necessarily music related, but you guys are all doing... these days, I'm mostly a music person myself, but I'm having to deal with video all the time and do stuff with video all the time. And DaVinci Resolve 17.1, the free audio video audio post tool, now excels on PC, Mac, and Apple Silicon. It actually just for those of you that don't know, people work on things like Final Cut, Premiere, whatever. But there's an alternative called DaVinci Resolve, which is just as the quality of this software is as the same level, I would say, maybe in some ways even better than all the very fancy paid for software. Now, for independent users or people on their own, hold on, we have a guest. Let's assign our guest here. This is John Selway, who's coming to join us, I guess. John, are you here? John, are you robbing a bank or something? What's going on there? Hold on, John. You are muted still. I don't know why. Oh, my interview. Okay, go ahead, John.
Hey, what's up, Abe?
Well, we're just talking about DaVinci Resolve. Have you ever used DaVinci Resolve?
Absolutely. I'm still on version 16. I need to update.
Yeah, 17.1. Resolve 17 quietly exited beta recently, then turned heads by releasing a speedy Apple Silicon M1 version, which is amazing. I mean, they're ready to go with these Apple Silicon chips. This is like these Apple chips that have come out are total game changers. It's like a new leveling up for the whole industry, for everything. I mean, this is. I was a little bit disappointed in Apple, I would say, in the last couple of years. They weren't doing anything that, you were used to them wowing you all the time. And now they've done it again.
But all along they were working on this, ready to come out with a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, I mean, this was more than a 1-2 punch. This is just an explosion. Okay, that release also runs faster on PC while you're at it. And this is the kind of tool that does everything on every platform and a lot of it for free. And so most of the stuff that you might want to do as an individual user, you can do for free. Editing videos, all sorts of color treatment,
I gotta
whatever.
say, the audio, the DAW part of it is really good.
You mean the fact that you could use plugins and
Yeah,
oh,
no, the audio
yeah,
mixing is great. What you get for free is pretty insane. I mean, obviously,
it's
it's not like a
ridiculous.
real. It doesn't have
It
MIDI the way like a real DAW does, but for mixing audio for video, it's got everything that you could possibly want, even without the plugins.
yeah,
It's called Fairlight, right? Yeah, their audio engine is it's Fairlight, and that's actually
yeah,
like that's been around a long time. There's a lot of audio engineers that do work for video that use Fairlight, and it's got a lot of good features.
yeah. It is. It is quite amazing, actually. Quite amazing. I use it exclusively. First, because it's free. And second, because it's better than most things out there, even things you pay for. So yes, and that's it. That's the news for us today. Let's see, and we are 343 TV, and that was the news. Sorry, I gotta close it out so we can make a clip out of it later. All right, let me switch.
Transparent about everything.
Hey, look, I wait. Hold on. You're back, John. Are you back? I gotta put you back in the.
That's all right.
There you are.
Hey,
yeah.
Now I'm square.
Yeah. So wait,
Speaking of square, I'm in a square.
You're in a square. Let me switch you over. Let me switch over to my vinyl view here because we're going to talk a little bit about vinyl now. Let's see. Let me get you in here because you keep on telling me to make scenes, but I can make scenes, but I would have a million scenes to choose from, and it'd probably be just as fast.
No, well, that's part of the, talk. We don't need to talk about how to use streaming software and everything, but man. Pre-setting up your scenes for the show is for me like the way to make it streamlined.
Yeah, I do, but just sometimes I don't. I turn off and turn on different cameras because I don't know who's coming in. If you're not coming in,
that's
then
another
I'm just
workflow. You haven't gotten a Stream Deck yet, but that's what you need. You just need to hit a button and have your guest pop up.
Well, somebody promised me a Stream Deck once and never delivered.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
We're not saying anything.
Right. Anyway, so here we are. I got my turntable set up here. I got a record on here. By the way, it's Absent Seizure. It's our showcase for today. We have a guest on a little later that's going to be telling us what Absent Seizure is all about. I should be able to tell you, too, because I have a lot to do with it. But let's just have a look at this. So this is it seems silly that we'd have to kind of talk and explain this but a lot of people, maybe even a lot of people watching today, have never really even played with or played a vinyl record. So this is I guess you call it originally you would call it the phonograph disc record, or if you're in the UK. If you're in the UK, you'd call it the gramophone disc record. Guess where that name, the Grammys, comes from? It comes from the gramophone. So it's an analog storage medium. So this is an analog storage medium with a inscribed modulated spiral groove. Can you explain that to us, John? What is a inscribed modulated spiral groove?
Some kind of vinyl cutting engineer?
Oh, well, it's basically the idea that there's a little cut in there that's inscribed with all the information that when you drop a needle on, you will be able to hear what is inscribed in there. And it's a spiral movement. So the record turns and we get the sound. I mean, it seems silly, and it seems like I'm just kind of maybe I know a lot of you, like Andrew Duque is in here, for example.
You guys know what we're talking about.
They know. I mean, they're like, new. Come on, Abe, you're treating us like babies here. But I just wanted to, for those that don't know, and now you know.
Right.
So you could have a few tracks here. There's 2 on this record. So there's another track on this record. And right now we're running this. I don't know if you can see this here. It says 33. Well, 33 stands for the 33 revolutions per minute. We could run it at 45, but this record wasn't cut at 45, so it would sound like that if we did. We have to play it at the sort of cutting speed that it was cut at, right? We have a pitch control here where we could actually change it. We could pitch it up or speed it up or slow it down. And this is how DJs in the past would match records to each other in their speed. Would get
Some
records
still
in
do.
phase. Some still do. They would
why are you even cutting?
hold
why
it.
are you even making 12-inch vinyl records now, Abe? Like, why
I'm
is
not.
this a thing?
Oh, yes, I am actually. Why is this a thing? Why is
What's
it a thing,
interesting
John?
about it? I mean, that's what I'm thinking about. Like, we can go on about what a record is and the technology of how it works, but there's plenty of information out there already. Like, that goes into all the scientific details about how records work. And what I would be interested in talking about is, like, one, like, where does the vinyl record have in, like, modern electronic music production? Why are people still putting their music on vinyl? And when you work with vinyl as a music producer, like, what do you need to know about the medium and what to expect in terms of sound quality and what's possible? So, like, if I'm going to make banging, crazy, loud techno, how does that translate? How does that work? Because most people are used to hearing their stuff digitally, whether it's a WAV file or an MP3 or over whatever codec is coming over the streaming service, right? That sounds different than a record. And, there's all sorts of vinyl purists that say vinyl's better. That's not the point here. It's about, like, what is the quality of vinyl? What's good about vinyl? What's not good about vinyl? What do I need to know as a producer? If I'm interested in cutting a record, what can I expect and what do I need to know?
Yeah, it's a tricky time, isn't it, to even talk about that? I mean, I've been hearing about the death of vinyl ever since the CD came out. Now,
And then just as long as that, I've been hearing about how vinyl's coming back and how vinyl sales are climbing every year.
Well, it did kind of hold during the CD times. It did hold.
Sure.
And that was held
that was
by...
the low point.
Well, it was a low point, but it was also sort of a steady point because it didn't die completely. It kind of stayed supported by DJs. DJs kept it going.
Well, actually, no. What am I saying? Like, when we were cutting lots of records,
80s,
like
90s.
As recently as the early 2000s, you could still easily sell thousands of copies of an underground techno 12-inch. Easily.
Right.
And
right.
now you're lucky to sell 200.
Lucky.
So, yeah.
Yeah, very lucky to sell 200. But
if you're not an established artist or label that already has tons of fans and followers that are heavily invested in vinyl, or you're not, like, there's a scene for vinyl. There are labels and artists that really cater exclusively to people that only play vinyl. It's a small group of people, but it's enough that if you're good, you can sell 1,000 copies of the record.
Right. There are people that haven't given up on that. And that today's guest is one of them. Today's guest, I'm trying to hold back. Our guest is waiting in the wings. She's amazing, but I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the technical stuff before we actually get into what she's done. But yeah, there are people that have not given up on vinyl and have done only exclusively things on vinyl, which is quite of a brave and very respectful thing to. I mean, I respect the people that are doing it like this. This is amazing in the digital age to just forego the digital stuff and just because it costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to do this.
It's true.
You could release a record. I could make a record today and release it digitally, and it won't cost me anything to do that, right? If I wanted to press a vinyl record, we're talking about over $1,000, maybe $1,200 to $1,500, depending on how many you make with the first run, and who what type of deal you get. It could even be a little more for maybe 300 records. Which would be, enough to make you just a little bit of money. Breaking even is probably about 150 records or 200 records sold. And then, so it's a very precarious thing. You'd have to really love vinyl and, love just pouring your money into it in order for you to and believe that this is the way to go. I mean, there's a sound to vinyl, I would say. I do enjoy the records on vinyl. I've heard these tracks many times digitally, but whenever I play these same tracks on vinyl, there's something that happens, and maybe it's also psychological because
it's
I can see
psychological. It's measurable, and I mean that's what I think this would be really interesting for people to know, like. How's your record going to translate? I mean, it'd be good to have a mastering engineer on this conversation, but we can start the conversation. There's a limit to the frequencies that can be reproduced in the process of cutting a record. and it's a narrower range of frequencies than you can do in digital.
Right. Both on
And
the
at the
high
same
end and low
time,
end.
at the same time, analog formats have a kind of fluidity. Fluidity is not the right word, but like it's not bits of information. It's an actual, you know, electromechanical, physical process that's continuous. There's no ones and zeros. There's no bits. There's no, you know, so that's one of the things that's attractive about it. That, and then so it has this kind of more natural sound, just like tape does. It's natural to us, but it's only natural relative to our human experience, because natural is what's in the acoustic world. No recording format is natural because of the electronics involved. And then you have distortion. You know, there's a pleasing sound that humans like distortion. That's why people buy tube amplifiers for their stereo. Analog recording, whether it's on a tape or on a phonograph, has distortion. And when it's done properly, that distortion can sound really good. And that's one of the things also that people like about the vinyl recordings, are the distortion and the character and the limitations of the process.
Right. Luis Colon says, I have been getting into 12-inch vinyl more lately, in prep for sets, and was even able to snag some Abe Duque, some of my vinyl,
Nice.
and DJ Hell pieces at my local spot. Props. Am I crazy for reinvesting in 12 inches?
No way.
I mean, you know, it's what you collect. It's what you love, right? It's what you keep near you. And it's certainly, it's funny because you have this record, and it is now, you know, a physical representation of the music. You can pick it up, touch it, you know, look at the grooves. You could look at the artwork. You could turn it around and play the other side. You can ruin it as well. You can scratch it. So you must protect it somehow. It's a totally different relationship with the music when you have something like this. By the way, you see that I have this. I don't know if you've noticed that I was able to, while it was playing, I was able to stop it. There's this thing called a slip mat that that DJs use, that you put right over that, so that when you play the record, you can actually hold back the record, and the turntable actually keeps on spinning, and it doesn't really mess with the motor. If not, if you would stop the whole, like the whole turntable from spinning, it'd be a little bit hard on the machine itself. So anyway, so that's great. So we have a guest today. We have a guest who's been waiting patiently in the background. She is somebody that you know, John, very well, and she used to be one of our colleagues back at the Dubspot days. Well, let's just bring her in. Why don't we? Hold on a second. Let me just bring in. There she is, Julia Matus.
Hi guys.
Hello, welcome,
Hi,
Julia.
John.
Welcome to the
Long
show.
time no see.
Thanks for
I know.
coming by. So Julia is Julia and I have worked. We all, John and Max also, who started 343, also work. We all worked together at Dubspot. At one point, Julia and I and also Sabrina, we used to do parties called Fight Club parties in New York, which were a lot of fun. And then at one point, Julia decided that she would go and start a label, a record label. And she came to me and said, "Hey, Abe, I have this idea. I wanna do something that's gonna that feels real, and I want to start a label." And I said, "Hey, yeah, I'll get in with you, and we'll do something. I didn't do much. She did most of the work. Somehow, I'm always listed as part of the label. Somehow, I did have some involvement in it, and I've done tracks and stuff like that. But let's talk about it, Julia. How does this idea come to you to make this label?"
Well, to be honest, first of all, John said a lot of things about vinyl that it feels, for me, it just feels right. Like everything you said is there. That when you, from the beginning, when you go to the store and you go through the records, you go with the hands and you take it out. And I was always super nervous to listen to it because I'm clumsy, and when I take it out from the jacket, like I would be worried that I scratch it or I drop it or oh my god. So anyhow, it's a really, for me, that's a process that I would like to go through when I'm finding the track, and when it just everything about it feels right to me. I never had the courage, I guess, or money to do that. And when I met Abe, I um, got more courage because uh, I don't know, like you approved. I wanted to hear because most of the people around me were telling me that this is really crazy idea, that this
It
is a
was a crazy
suicide,
idea.
it's never gonna work. Yeah, it's I'm not gonna tell the names, but I've heard things like you're completely insane. You're just gonna lose a lot of money, and
But
nobody
you
knows
are
you, and
completely
nobody
insane.
cares.
Nice.
Well, and I even heard the things like you're not famous, so you're just gonna release with yourself for yourself. You wanna do that, like please. But actually, when people told me that, I had really, I was like, no, I really disagree. Whenever they told me that, I always thought that this is not true, and that made me even sure that I have to try because you can't tell me no. You can't tell me this is crazy idea because this is exactly what I'm gonna do. So
So the label's name is Absence Seizure, right?
I've always
yeah,
wanted to know what that means.
Yeah. What does that mean,
well,
Julia?
absence seizure is a psychological term, and there is a moment. There is a book by Dostoevsky, and one of the characters has the disease, and it's not really disease. It depends how you look at it, but it's basically the moment when you. Also, what was
Space
really
out.
appealing to me, yeah, what was appealing to me that
Oh, right.
it's
So I
really
think I get it.
it really happens mostly uh, with children. Like once you grow up, it's not really common. So to me, that thing is also kind of. Um, I never really grow up. I really like cartoons, and I really would like to keep my child, inner child, if you will. So the appeal for me was that it happens more to children because I think they see world in a different way, and so yes, when you space out just for the moment of seizures, you kind of it's how can I explain? Uh, um,
I think you don't need to explain. I think that it's very clear to to how this would be. By the way, this is the way that the covers look. What is this?
and the cover looked like that because this is the write out basically of how the brain works during when the seizure happens, and
Or like it's
also
like an EKG or whatever it is. No, not
yes,
EKG. You know what I'm talking
and
about where they measure
also
the.
we
Yeah.
really would I put thought into the artwork because I chose Rorschachs, and I didn't want to use anything what's already pre-existed. So I asked my friend who was a painter, who is a painter, to listen to music and see what kind of associations she has with the music and draw things. So she basically draws things based on the music, and this is what she saw. And the idea was that when somebody listens to the track and look at the picture, everybody would have their own idea to what it represents, because people see different things in Rorschachs, and when they listen to music, somebody likes it, somebody don't, and it's all good. But they all have different emotions. Hopefully, when they listen to it, and I wanted to connect it to the pictures as well.
So, I was been going through these records. I have all the copies. You sent me many copies of each one, and this is just amazing. This compilation. Now, just to let everybody know, Julia went ahead and pressed 13 releases of this in a time when it has been almost impossible to sell records, in a time when it's almost impossible to get anybody to play records, and in a time when people think you're crazy if you do that. Julia went ahead one after the other, relentlessly putting out 13 of these, and each one of them, listening to them now, I mean, I dropped the needle on any one of these, and they just amazing, warm, beautiful sound that you get from these tracks. And they're all slightly different, but still have this kind of same vibe going on inside. This is I would say, Julia, this is an amazing accomplishment that you pulled off.
Thank you.
Well, you're
Something
welcome.
about that format of vinyl, you're not just going to put anything out because it's valuable. You're investing. I mean, it's not just about the money, but because it's a risk. You're going to have a different thought process when you're considering what music you're going to put on that record. I think it's kind of like giving yourself a filter or a limitation, not just in terms of the technical limitations, but just in terms of like what music works on this format. And it affects, I think it affects the way you do the music. So your artistic ideas are going to come out different because you're thinking about how it's going to work on a record.
I agree. This is these are all kind of mystical reasons as to why we like this format so much. But so now what has happened is we have Julia has, after completing the 13th of these, a 13th release, has decided to put out a compilation. Finally let the world hear it. Because only the people that are into vinyl, because look, Julia did it in a very, very specific way. She did it only vinyl. She didn't really put out any. Most people would say, I'll put it out vinyl, but I'm going to have my digital release as well so that everybody. She didn't put it out digital at all. So if you wanted to know what this music was all about, you'd have to discover it somehow. And now that the 13 releases have been put together, she's finally decided now it's time to make some digital compilation of it all, right?
Yes.
Tell us about this.
Well, the decision behind it, honestly, was coronavirus.
Okay.
Everything gets blamed on coronavirus. No, really, I came back last March, I think, from Brazil. I spent 3 months in Brazil, and it came really fast. I got out just on time. I remember staying there 3 days before I had the plane, and they already had 4 cases. So at the beginning, it was really big deal. And it was escalating really fast, and I started getting worried. If I don't get out in 3 days, I possibly gonna get stuck in Brazil with no money, no job, no nothing. And well, I probably would have made it, but because I've been in those situations before, but it was scary. So I got out just in time, and when I came to America, everything went on a lockdown within 2 weeks. So it was really crazy because I don't think anybody really planned for that, and that we stayed closed for a very long time. I think at least 3 or 4 months was absolutely just like at home. That made me reconsider a lot of things. Like I think it's for other people too. It changed a lot of perspective because I'm very stubborn and I believe in what I believe, and the whole world can go down. I still gonna stay and believe what I believe. But the fact that a lot of businesses ran out of business and DJs stopped playing the shows, there were no clubs, there were nothing. So I saw that people really change into the online presence. All you can do is online thing, right? And everybody turned into bedroom DJs, Arnavo. And I thought, what if it never reopens? Actually, I mean, it's going to reopen, but it's never going to be the same. I don't think it's going to be the same like it used to be. And it's still not like that. And nobody knows when it's going to be like that. So that was one of the main reasons when I realized that, well, it's not about what it used to be anymore. And I think just for the fact that now all we had is online. I decided that maybe it's a good idea. I can give into this. I'm not gonna put all of the releases digital. I thought I can make just one compilation, picking out one track from each release. Um, how, like what John spoke previously, that you have to be very careful, and there's a special process going into selecting the tracks that go on vinyl. So this was the second process. I already selected tracks to go on release. Now I had to pick one from release, and that was never the problem for me because I have no idea how that works, but I always know in my heart, if you will, in my gut, I listen to four tracks and I'll tell you this one. Why it is not based on, the bass is like sounds like that, or I think it's gonna work for the dance floor. I picked out from the first compilation, I picked out Alien is My Boyfriend, which is by all means is not the club and not the dancing track. But that track lands like it's one of my favorite tracks. Thank you.
Right now, we're listening to the track she just talked up. This is
Yes,
Alien is My Boyfriend.
and the story with that was actually because it was in the first release. Um, One of the people that working for Mixmag told me that I really like this track. This was something that I sent to him, and he was like, "This to me is like the best track on the entire like that's what I thought too." But his thing was that what is it like? What's the genre? What's the speed? I'm like, well, the speed is so and so, but the genre, I don't know. Like I made it. And I understand that like it's childish and immature of me probably, but that's how it is. Like I really don't care to name the things or to go, okay, this is gonna be that and this is gonna be this. It's not like that. I felt like making music. I made music and voila, that's how it works. So eventually, that did not go on the Mixmag because for the reason I believe that there is no way to define what it is really, what category I would put it in, and that was okay. But I think it was a compliment in a way for me. I have a little bit of a different thinking process when it comes to things like that.
So, in the meantime, we're listening. This is the first track on the compilation, Alien is My Boyfriend. Um, a lot of people saying hello to you, including Max Wild saying hello to Julia
Thank
on the
you.
chat. I don't know if you're
Hi,
monitoring
Max.
the chat at all. There's a lot of action in the chat right now. We have people talking about Andrew Duke says, plus I have accidentally. Oh, wait a second. He wrote something earlier about Andrew Duke says, aesthetically, the packaging for vinyl definitely has an advantage. I have never told my kids about any of my stuff released digitally, but I definitely show them the package when I have something on vinyl. Yeah, it's really like a trophy somehow. Like, look at this, check it out. Plus, he says, I have accidentally deleted everything related to some of my digital releases, but if I came out on vinyl or on CD, I have it. I have a copy. Yeah, vinyl lasts forever. In a way, it's probably one of the and I'm not just saying that. I mean, I read an article once about storage mediums and which would be the most the ones that would survive everything. And I think two came to mind. Well, were focused on in the article, which were paper and vinyl. They could survive mostly everything. Like in 1,000 years, you'll be able to hear this record.
I mean, that's also, I mean, on the flip side.
Hold on, John. I've lowered your volume a little bit. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, what you're saying is absolutely true. Vinyl, phonograph records it could literally, you could never play it and pack it away in like a dry, stable environment. It will last forever, thousands of years probably. There's no hard drive in the world. There's no digital media that we know that's been invented that will last forever.
Right. So you imagine you try to play a WAV file in 100 years. Would that even be a thing? Would you even be able to play?
We were talking about my DAT machine problems earlier. People might have noticed
Right.
I'm out here walking around. I went to this analogic service place here on 20th Street, right around the corner from Limelight, actually. And keeping my DAT machine alive so I can play back these tapes recorded. The tapes are degrading, falling apart. They don't make them anymore. The parts are gone. It's not a long-term storage media. All of the stuff we ever put on vinyl, it's around forever.
Yeah, vinyl lasts forever. Or it can last
There's
a
also
lot longer than.
side of that. We can talk. It's not maybe not a subject for the show, but the environmental impact of petroleum products, vinyl records
All right,
made
well-
from petroleum, and we all know about that. So that is a consideration if you have, if you think about these things and you want to get into making records. There's that to consider, but we don't have to talk about that right now.
There's that. So just we're a little bit past halfway point. I just wanted to make sure everybody knows that we're watching 343 TV. This is my show, Friday show. We're here every day at 1 p.m. John, you have a show tomorrow.
I do.
What's happening on your show tomorrow?
Well, what was supposed to happen was our trying again with Radioactive Man, Steve Denniswood. He had something come up last minute. We've had to push this show back another week, so he'll be on next Saturday, a week tomorrow, the 27th, I think, right? Tomorrow, we swap things around. There's a friend of ours, you know him, Peter J.
PJ, yes.
He's been a DJ and a promoter and a musician here in New York in the underground kind of techno scene for decades. He's been kind of just quietly always around helping other promoters do their parties. Like he's a stalwart. And he's a cool friend. He's a teacher. He teaches design for Parsons, and he's a complete maniac about modular synthesis. So I just went over to his place and helped him get his camera set up, and he's going to show us around his rig and make some music for us. And we'll just talk a little bit about.
All right. So for those that didn't catch that,
techno and modular synthesis.
For those that didn't catch that, and it's a little hard to hear you. You're coming in and out. I mean, you have some people in the chat saying it's hard to hear you.
Sorry,
but
I'm on AirPods and I'm walking down 6th Avenue
right.
with construction around me.
So for those that didn't catch that, John will have tomorrow PJ on the show, and he's going to start showing off his new rack. He's building a Euro rack. He's redesigning his Euro his rack, and we're going to talk all about modular stuff, I guess, tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, Julia, what are we listening to right now? What is this?
It's my mom's favorite track.
It's your mom's favorite track. All right.
Yes. There is a story with that. It's the only track that survived not the plane crash in particular, but when somebody said that they lost the things on the hard drive, that pinched my heart. Because
right.
I didn't really lose it like that, but I took my mom to the Museum in St. Petersburg in Florida. And I really like this poster of the Melting Orchestra. It has three ladies. What is it? They have the instruments melting in their hands. So I really love that artwork. And I bought the poster, which was $15, and I was obsessed with it. So when we get on the plane, I have one track. I get distracted easily. So if I have to take care of two things, which is my laptop and the poster, then it gets complicated. So I put poster overhead and laptop at the bottom, and when we're landing, they say to put it in front under the chair. And I do that, and I walk out from the plane. And we take the bus from the airport to Brooklyn, and it's already 1 in the morning. It's a night. And I sit on the bus, and suddenly I realized that I left my laptop on the plane. And my face just turns white. My mom is like, what happened? I'm like, this is I can't even, it was insane. So anyhow, I couldn't go back already to the airport. It was late. I went there next day, and I never recovered it. I spent 3 days in the airport and chasing. This was crazy because I was chasing people that look like, service people on the plane. I was like, oh, it's from my plane. Have you seen my laptop? It was really something else. So anyhow, in that laptop, I had 9 projects that were finished, and I never recovered them. It's gone forever. There was some good stuff, but one of those projects was this track that's called Saudade. Saudade is actually translates from Portuguese, where you missing somebody and you sad, but it's like a good sad. It's not the bad sad. And that's what it makes me feel like, this track.
All right.
And I had this project actually saved, and it was bounced. I had the WAV file for this project, and there was absolutely no guarantee if this file is gonna work for Dietrich for mastering. and I was literally praying that it would. And my mom was praying too, because she was like, I love this track. It's my favorite track. She likes like pretty warm stuff. And it actually worked out. I sent it to Dietrich, and there was some little things to be done, and it was possible to save it. Bottom line, I talked too much, sorry. And it was like hallelujah. I mean, it was the happiest day ever, and I was able to put it on the record. So all the other projects are gone, but this one we saved, and this makes it very, very special to me.
Yeah, this is somebody just asked me to drop a link in the chat for the compilation. Did is it okay if I drop the link that you sent me, or do we need another link for that?
No, no, it's a Bandcamp. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna drop that link right now. Also, so somebody just told me William Mindbenders. Hold on, John. I lowered you for a second. William Mindbenders just said they bought the compilation. Thanks, Julia. So got a sale
My pleasure.
out of it. Okay, let's see. Luis Colon said, I dig the thought concepts for these, Julia. This is great. The link for Bandcamp is on the post on her Facebook page. It says, but I just dropped it in the chat.
Thank you.
If you guys want to go check it out. And what are we listening to here on this one here?
Oh, this is my favorite. Oh my god. So this is Abe's remix for Menu 13, which is very special track to me as well. It's like, it sounds like all of my tracks are special. No,
Yeah,
but
I think they all are,
the ones-
Julia. I mean, you spent so much money on these. They had to be special for you to like drop all
but
this
that-
cash
some
on
are
it.
more special than the others, because a couple we played and I'm like, oh, okay. So, but this one really is, well, first of all, no, I have to tell you the story. So basically we did this party in Brooklyn where I decided not to put any names on the flyer and none of that, which again, according to all the people, was a suicide, because if you don't have a famous headliner that you are announcing, then you're not gonna fill the room. Nobody's gonna be there. And I had this crazy idea that people would just come for the music and then they discover who plays, that would be like interesting to do. So I get there really early because I wanted to hang all the artwork and do the video projection and all these things. So I really put my heart into that party. And we did have some people, but it wasn't really full. And basically ended up paying for that party with my rent money. So because there was a bar guarantee, I had to pay something crazy, whether 1,200 or 1,700, I'm not sure. So the party was good. I was happy. We played music. Everything was great. But 9 in the morning, I was crying my eyes out because, I had this idea and now I have to pay for this too with the money that I supposed to pay for my apartment. So it was kind of not really fun moment. So I went back home crying, and it makes me actually want to cry right now. But I cried for another 2 or 3 days, and then I talked with Abe, and he cheered me up. Like, it got better, but I still was in a really bad mood, and I decided to go. I can't remember, maybe to monastery because I like doing that. In the moments like that. And I remember that I had a spirit flight and it was super annoying. I was in a bad mood and babies were crying and it's just a spirit flight. So
You mean Spirit Airlines, not that you flew in your spirit. It wasn't astral projection.
Yes. No. Well, that would be nicer. But yes, Spirit Airlines. And I decided to get away from all that. I had program with me and the headphones, and I started just sketching out things. And that piano thing that you heard, this is what I made on the plane, and this is how I felt, because it was a lot of actually, I guess, anger, frustration, but somehow this track to me became very beautiful, powerful. I don't think it's angry, but it's definitely more powerful than others. And later I showed this to Abe and I was like, I want you to remix this. And I would be really happy if you consider. So when he listened to the track, he said that he really likes it, and his concern is that it's a really, well, I can't really repeat what you said, but okay.
I had a
have
concern.
my own issues. Well, no, you said it's so good that you don't think you can do the better job doing the remix. And I was like, well, I don't think that. But anyhow, so luckily he gave it a shot. And when he sent me this track that is playing right now, it was late at night, and I just turned off the lights and I lay on the bed and I listened to it, and it sent me just I was like,
On a spirit flight?
Yes, I was like, oh my god, like you were so lying about not doing the better job. I mean, you took the track and you brought it a completely different level, which I really like Depeche Mode. To me, I can hear somehow it's if you took my original thing and had Depeche Mode do something with it, and then you also do something with it. It has all of the things that I would like to be done to it. Like, it's perfect to me. It's just
Yeah,
that.
JNNX says very DM vibe, very Depeche Mode vibes.
But yet it's still you. It's just, I don't think Depeche Mode, well, okay, Depeche Mode, but I don't think they would do such a good job on it. Like, I really don't. So it's all I ever wanted. So this is one of the tracks that this is really, really special to me.
John, William Mindbenders is complimenting you on your hiking. Just to let you know, you're hiking there. Keeping it
normally I would
interesting for us.
have hopped on the subway and ran home, but I decided
Man on the
instead to
street.
yeah, exactly. Like, jump onto the call and be out here. I know it doesn't sound great, but actually, I should take this as a cue to say goodbye. I'm right here. I'm gonna hop on the subway now. I'm getting tired of carrying this rack case.
All right, yeah, we're towards the end of the show now. Anyway, we're in the last 5 minutes. Thanks, John, for coming by and hanging with us.
Thank you, John.
Thank you for your
Nice to see you.
for your
It's
hiking.
nice to catch up and
Absolutely.
hear your stories about the music. That was great.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, so we just have a few more minutes left. I just want to let everybody know we're watching 343 TV. We're here every day at 1 p.m. Today, Friday, is my show. It's John, who you just saw there with a mask, has his show tomorrow. It's Techno Saturdays. Tomorrow we're doing the giveaway with the VST from Isotope, the Vocal Synth 2. So tune in to John's show for that. And then make sure you go to our website at 343labs.com and check out our class schedules. We have classes happening all the time. I'm starting a new class tomorrow, Saturday at 12:15. We're going to be meeting once a week for an Ableton 1 session. If you want to get in on that, there's still time for that. And thanks for all you guys for watching. Let's see, we still have a couple of minutes. What are we playing now, Julia? What is this one? Kind of quiet. Do you hear it, Julia? Oh, you don't know your own tracks. Interesting.
No, hold on. I thought that it's Acido. It is Acido. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Acido is also a special track.
But we're somehow back. I think I don't know, we're having some technical issues. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, thank you, Julia, for joining us today and sharing this amazing compilation that you have, with your blood, sweat, and tears, put together for all of us. So, and they will last forever, for thousands of years to come. This will be available. And no matter if all the computers die, we will always have this vinyl. Thank you for that. Thank you for this etching of history that you've made. And need to learn more about myself. We're gonna have DJ Empress will join, and I will see you next time.